Well, what's important here is that people can relate to it. And the reason they can relate to it, I am not coming from a pedestal. I am not, my academics are, I'm a BCom third division failed in my 10th. And the message is really practical. We had coal mines. I was born with a silver spoon. We lost everything. I left India, tried my hands on 3 businesses, failed in all of them, and finally went to Canada and started life washing cars with a bucket in my hand, door to door. And gradually got into selling vacuum cleaners and then got into selling life insurance. And gradually, God was kind, moved on to US, got into 3 businesses. I bought out a company out of California in 1984 and started the New Jersey operations with no clients, and I sold my company with close to 500 clients. Now that is a nutshell of where we're coming from. So really the bottom line comes, I learned one thing in my journey, and that was that to change reality you got to change mentality. What is mentality? It is your attitude. So it is not a position but a disposition. So when I was washing cars, my eyes were elsewhere. So when I was selling vacuum cleaners, my eyes were somewhere else. So bottom line is, you got to keep your eyes somewhere. And interestingly, especially in today's day and age, people talk in terms of startups. It's become like a fashion. It's like a fad. Talk about startups. And then they talk of passion. Pursue your passion. Follow your passion. What's passion? So interestingly, I was addressing the IIT about a couple of months ago. And how do you find out what's your passion? It's so misleading, and 90% of startups fail within the first 1 year. So now the bottom line comes, how do you figure out your passion? A person is having a pizza. He says, I like pizzas. Then he says, I love pizzas. Then he says, I am passionate about pizzas. Then he says, pizza must be my passion. And then he says, oh, in that case, I have to open a chain of pizza stores. Amen. Is that how you figure out your passion? Same thing. The guy, I like a donut. I love donuts. I'm passionate about donuts. Donuts my passion, so I want to start out a donut shop. I mean, it doesn't work that way. And within a short time, they realize they beg, borrow, steal, get out, get moving with the pizza store or something else, and they fall flat. Well, that's not the way to do it. There is a lot more involved in what is passion. How do you figure out? Passion, the way I see it, is defined as somebody, I will do the same thing for money, and I will do the same thing for no money. That's my passion. But at the same time, I should not let my passion blind me. Now, you see, passion can blind people, and they fall flat because of that. Napoleon is a prime example in history. He was literally the king of Italy in Europe. I mean, the guy was really ruling that day. He had troops with 500,000 people, very well prepared, and he was living a great life. Then he was passionate about one thing. He wanted to conquer further. Who? Russia. He wanted to go there. And people said, don't do it. Eventually, he went in, lost, and after that, where was he? He was in jail. And all the last few years, he spent in jail. What did his passion do? He was passionate. Stop. You see, you don't let your passion blind you. So we need to understand. So why you asked, why is my book read? Because, you know something, it addresses practical things. This is practical stuff. We need to understand the do's and don'ts, and that's it.
Okay, so you've just given us a very nice piece of advice. I think that a lot of people can have is that don't let your passion blind you. The next question is a little relevant about advice. So with now it being the sort of time in the year that a lot of people are graduating out of college and they're going to be looking to start their careers, etc., what would be something that you would like to tell them to keep in mind when they start?
Well, the most important thing that when I addressed, you said people are graduating, I hear all the time, competition is stiff. I mean, there's huge competition outside. But you know something, the way I see it, never in the history of mankind has it been so easy to succeed in life the way it is today. Regardless of your profession, we have no competition. See, I was addressing a mixed group a few years ago. There were doctors, engineers, attorneys, accountants, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, very mixed group. And as I said, that never in the history of mankind has it been so easy to succeed in life the way it is today. Regardless of your profession, we have no competition. So one person asked me, how come? So I asked him this one question. Tell me, how many people do you know walking off the street right now who are willing to do a little bit more than what they get paid for? And the answer is hardly any. Most people don't even want to do what they get paid for. There's a second big category of people who only want to do what they can get by with. And there's a very small fraction of people who are willing to do a little bit more than what they get paid for. And I asked him, if you fall into that category, regardless of your profession, tell me, where's your competition? You know something? You can't even find a good accountant today. You can't even find a good attorney today. You can't find a good carpenter. You can't find a good plumber. You can't find a good anything. The bottom line is, are you willing to do a little bit more than what you get paid for? See, if you go and read through life histories of people who have succeeded or organizations that have succeeded, then they sustained success. Now, success is one thing. Sustainable success is another. They succeeded, then they sustained success, and then they maintained goodwill. You know something? They all have lived by this one principle, and that is, I shall always give more than what I get to my family. I shall always give more than what I get to my customer. I will always give more than what I get to my organization, and I will always give more than what I get to my society. Now tell me, if we live by this one little principle, tell me, where's the competition? Now I'll tell you what, I've been in this profession for maybe almost 30 years. Now, for public programs, we do advertise, we do make outbound calls. But corporate business, in the last 30 years, I don't think we've made any outbound call. It's all been inbound. It's word of mouth. So again, see, why do our clients hire us? Not because we are the smartest people. There are many more qualified people than us, but our clients hire us only for one reason. Our commitment to our client is never 100%. It is always 200%. Tell me, where's the competition? And that's really the bottom line. And that's what people need to understand today. There is a big difference between earning money and making money. See, making money is crooked. Earning money is spiritual. You need to understand. Most people want to make money today. Very few want to earn money today. See, they need to understand that wages without work amounts to stealing. And that's really what's happening today. No wonder you have so much attrition. We are hired for our skills, but we are fired for our behavior.
Thank you for that. Moving on to our next question. Right now in India, I would say, and even across the world, I don't think it's just an Indian phenomenon. There's more and more people now looking to focus on their careers, and with longer hours in corporate life, there's this entire idea or the discussion that's happening regarding work-life balance. So, do you think that there's any merit in that argument, and that it should, work culture should be addressed, or do you think it's part of the course and it's part of trying to get ahead and succeed?
Well, interestingly, there are people who are working hard. There are people who are putting in long hours. That is true. But I personally find, in fact, a global survey was conducted by Gallup in the US, and they said that 63% of people who go to work are disengaged. Means they don't do the job. And then an additional 24% are actively disengaged. Means they make sure that others also don't do their job. Which leaves what? Only 13% of people who go to work actually work. So, you tell me one thing. I mean, I don't care how many hours we put in. What is the quality of output? What is the quality of output? I mean, do we take pride in what we do? People who take pride in the performance, they do the right thing first time, every time. They don't have to redo their stuff. The error rates is very low because they're diligent, they're careful, and they hold themselves accountable to much higher standards than others do. You see, they're not looking for recognition. They do work which is worthy of recognition. Are you with me?
Yes.
They don't look for recognition. They do work which is worthy of recognition. People recognize it. And whether they recognize or not, who cares? You know something? At the end of the day, whether they are recognized or not, at the end of the day, they feel good. You know why? They know they put in their best. It is like an athlete. After a workout, if he's not dead beat, means he didn't work out properly. A good athlete, he can't get up after a workout. Means he couldn't go beyond. That's really what it comes down to. See, another book we have, which is You Can Sell, which says, in life, results are rewarded, efforts are not. You know what that means? That is talking of persuasion skills. What does persuasion mean? Ability to influence, ability to convince, ability to negotiate, and ability to sell. That's called persuasion. I repeat, ability to influence, ability to convince, ability to negotiate, ability to sell. And who doesn't need it? You know something, sadly, there are many people who say, I don't need it. I'm in finance, I'm in operation, I'm in IT. Oh, come on. They don't understand the basics of existing in this world today. Who's not selling? A candidate at a job interview, what's he doing? Selling. For which he needs what? Persuasion skills. A boy, girl proposing to get married, what are they doing? Persuading each other to get married. Politician giving speeches to get votes, what's he doing? Persuading to get votes. What am I doing in front of you on the TV right now? Persuading. See, either you are accepting what I'm saying or you're rejecting what I'm saying. Based on what? My ability to persuade or inability to persuade. And this is basic, that is required for selling, isn't it? And the subtitle to the book is Results are rewarded, efforts are not. You know what that means? It means we judge ourselves by our intentions, but the world judges us by our actions. Is that true? And that's really the bottom line.
Thank you for that. We'll just move into a couple of questions that some of the people asked online. So, one person, Shrishti Arjun, asks, how do you motivate yourself when you are feeling incompetent?
Look, just take one thing home tonight. She's used the word when you feel incompetent. First of all, do we need